Monday. Arrow up, arrow down, WGR550.com. I told you we're going to run through your phone calls. So let's get to them right now. You call, you talk, I react. We have a good time here today for the next 2 hours, enjoying the Bills' 41-40 victory to go 1-0 to start the season over the Baltimore Ravens. Randy's up first in Buffalo. Hi, Randy.
Okay. Hey, morning, guys. Yeah, I was with you until 2 o'clock and way past. I'm so tired this morning, but I refuse to leave games because of that. I got to see the second.
Hey, and if you did stay, you were rewarded with one of the greatest, sporting endings and moments that you could have probably been to. It's pretty amazing.
You better believe it.
Yep.
And I just real fast, they said earlier that when we went for that first 2-point conversion when Coleman went out of bounds, that we were down 2 scores, and we were down 1 score. And when we scored, it was 27-19. And for the life of me, I don't know why we went for 2 there when if you go for the extra point, you're only down 7 points. And I was just wondering what you thought about that.
This is it's a really good debate, Randy. This is an analytics question, okay? And over the years, this has changed. I'm with you, Randy. I prefer to go for the 1 to keep yourself down 8, but keep it a 1-score game. Because if you go for the 1 and you make it, an 8-point game, the other team has to kind of keep playing, so to speak, right? Like, okay, they can't really afford to make a mistake and give you the ball back, and now you can, then they know that you're 1 score down. But what teams have done, and in this situation, now maybe it's for the lower scoring game, it's different, but I understand why teams do it. I don't love it. I understand why teams do it, and the reason is because if you do get it, obviously you're within 7, but if you don't, you now know you have to be aggressive and how to play it on defense still. And yeah, the other team might get a little conservative, which they kind of did, the Ravens, right? So I hear you. I'm just saying that it's not just the Bills. This is an analytics question that we've seen other teams do many times. The prevailing decision there has been in the NFL over the last several years, when you're down 15, most coaches do go for the 2 first. I prefer to go for the 2 second, but I understand why you do it that way. Let's go to Bruce in Tonawanda. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, I got just a statement that was one of the greatest Bills games I've ever seen. I've been a Bills fan since I've been in 2nd grade, 1967. Great game, great comeback. But my question is to you and to all the other listeners, because of the great emotional win, does it worry you at all that they might have a letdown against the Jets?
No, I don't worry about that with this team. I mean, we've watched this team long enough under this coach and with this quarterback that they rarely have those types of games.
Sometimes after an emotional win, teams do have a letdown. That's the only reason.
I know. What I'm saying is, though, have you seen this team really do that? I mean, maybe once in the last 5 years somewhere, a Jacksonville game maybe, but I mean, no. So I'm not worried about it. I think that this team, what defines this team in this era right now is consistency. They're pretty much, they're a team that shows up and has the same kind of standard and level of play. Now, it didn't go great for 3.5 quarters last night when it comes to that, especially on defense, but I'm not worried about that. I'm more concerned about the fact that the Jets were very good running the football. I'm not worried about an emotional letdown next week against the Jets. I'm more concerned about the fact that Breece Hall looked really good running the football, and the Bills could not stop the run last night. That's what I'm more concerned about. Kevin's in Florida. Hi, Kevin.
Sal, my old friend, how are you? You're a great American hero. You know that.
I do not want to have that moniker. There are true great American heroes out there, but thank you.
I know. I get it. Hey, real quick, couple things. I think it was Joe that was by himself last. He ended the show asking if on the challenge on Josh's slide, if they could have challenged that later. A new play had already run, even though there was a penalty, so therefore they weren't able. So just trying to clear that up.
Yeah, and Joe and I talked about it in the break. Thank you, Kevin, because I didn't realize he said it on the show. So Josh, they screwed up the spot, right? He should have had a first down. They didn't.
Correct.
The Bills go and run a play, but there's a penalty, and then it was, hey, maybe the Bills can challenge here, but you can't because even though there was a penalty, that does not take away the fact that they snapped and there was a penalty which counts as a play.
Correct. Yep. So
Okay.
I want to make sure that was cleared up. So in on that too, I get it. It should have been a first down. Skyref should have came in. But listen, if we can't get a first down from 2 yards, we have issues, right? So that's my thing with that. Here's one other thing, and I apologize. I know you got a lot of people today.
It's all right.
I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but it's the same problems over and over and over again with this defense, right? If we don't have 17, we're not winning more than 3 games. and we just constantly are giving up tons of yards. I get Derrick Henry's just not a human, right? I mean, I officiate his games in high school. Like, he's not a human being. It's ridiculous how big he is, but we cannot constantly give up so many yards, on the run. I mean, we had 6 out of 9 draft picks, I think is what it was, right? We're on the defense. I get Max is out, Trey was out. I understand that. But all we're doing is constantly trying to put Band-Aids on things when Sean McDermott's supposed to be this defensive guru, right? And we can't do it. And I'm afraid that it's just going to cost us something. Because if I'm Josh Allen, I'm saying, hey, what more do I have to do? I'm perfect in the postseason, and we can't win because the defense is constantly giving up big yards. So that's all I've got, Sal.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, how many games did the Chiefs win without Mahomes? How many do the Bengals win without Burrow? The point about Josh Allen is right, but it's the same with every team that has an elite quarterback. You can say that about everything, Kevin. And you're right. I mean, they have to be better at stopping the run, and it has been an issue, no doubt. And it's concerning. I don't disagree with that. That's the number one concern coming out of this game. This game is different. This team is different, I should say, that they're playing against, the Baltimore Ravens. But you have to be better than that. And if you were concerned about the safety play, I think you're even more concerned today because of what you saw. But it is a different challenge against Baltimore, right, than it is any other team. Let's go to Michael in Atlanta. What's up, Mike?
Just trying to calm down, Sal. It's just wonderful. Wonderful, man. The emotion is great. A couple of things real quick. First, real quick question. Who made that tackle to stop the last Baltimore drive?
That was Christian Benford.
Yeah, incredible tackle.
You mean the catch that was a little short of the first down, correct?
Right.
Yeah, that was Christian Benford. A really nice tackle. Yeah. You're right about that. Open field. Yep.
Yeah, it's great. That's it right there, man. Without that, there's no comeback. But anyhow, the defense, you're absolutely. They have to tighten things up, but they did step up when they had to at the end of the game. They got those stops. That was great. I got to talk about Josh Allen's composure. It was just a difference maker. I heard you on the other show talking about how the Bills, a lot of these epic games, they came up short. Most of them they have. But his composure in that game, especially after some of the questionable type of play calling in the first half with these screen passes, I understand the logic, start to control the game. But, in that fourth quarter, especially, his composure, not just trying to, throw 40, 50-yard passes, taking the 5, 10, 15-yard passes, giving yourself the opportunity for the big play. And I saw a maturing, even more so than last year in that fourth quarter, which was great. So I want your comment on that. And one last thing about leaving the game early. 1982, I think it was, I was at the game with my wife, and the Bills were down by 4 points against the New England Patriots. They needed that win to stay alive for the playoffs. And it was 0 degrees out. They had 12 seconds left on the clock, and there's no O.J. Simpson. Ferguson goes back to pass, throws to midfield. Not even time to snap to throw the ball down on the ground. Snaps the ball. Time runs out. Throws it in the end zone. Gets tipped. Roland Hicks catches it for the winning touchdown on a Hail Mary. Yep. So I'm just one of those guys. I don't shut the game off. I don't leave the game because I think with especially now with this quarterback and this team, we're never out of it.
Well, that's fine. I'm just not going to criticize people who did leave the game last night.
Oh, I understand.
A lot of people left and still listened on the radio or watched. And by the way, I remember that play. I was very young, but I remember that play, and it's Roland Hooks. And what I remember was afterwards, the old Rolaids commercial? How do you spell relief? R-O-L-A-I-D-S?
Yeah, that's right.
Then they would say, how do you spell relief? R-O-L-A-N-D Hooks is what they said for about a week. It was really good. Thanks, Mike. Man. Thanks, Mike. Got to run here. Got a lot of people on hold. Billy in Toronto is next up. What's up, Billy?
Hey, Sal, what a ball game, man. You got to just love it. For the caller to say that our defense is bad, listen, that Baltimore defense will run against any defense that's ever played the game. I'm going to give the defense a pass on that. That running game is just too tough to stop, and the way you beat Baltimore is how we did it. We have to outscore them, and if we meet them in the playoffs, it's going to be the same old, same old. The one thing that I'm really ecstatic about, and I didn't really think about it, but I know it was the first game of the year, and if we had have lost, we would have said, you know what, game one, tough team. But now that I think of it, now I'm looking way forward to the end of the year. We basically know who's going to be in the playoffs at the end and who's got a chance to win it all. This is a big win in the sense that if we're tied with Baltimore, Baltimore now has got to have 2 more wins, win 2 more games than us during the rest of the season to go ahead of us. Even if we lose and they win, we got the same record. So I thought that was a big win that way.
Yeah.
Get way ahead of myself, but way down in the future. That's it, Sal.
All right, you got it. Thanks a lot for the phone call. Really appreciate it. 803-0550 is the number to call. Steve in Virginia. What's up, Steve?
Hey, how you doing today, Sal?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, all season we kept hearing about how this was a revenge game, for the Ravens, and most of the sport analysts, nationwide were predicting the Ravens. I mean, we took their best punch and still beat them at home, even with Ravens fans chanting MVP for, Lamar. So that was great to see. I have a question on the offense and a question on the defense.
Okay.
With the offense, I just wish Brady wouldn't be so conservative, especially when you have Josh. I mean, look at what he did to end the first half. I mean, to get in, field goal position. I mean, the mantra eats. I mean, someone just made a play, and I think they just need to let Josh open it up a little more. I mean, it's one thing like if you have a double-digit lead, sure, go conservative then, but until then, play like he did. And then in defense, just wanted to get your opinion with Joey Bosa. I think if we were playing a different quarterback last night, we probably would have had more sacks. Just wanted to get your input on how he impacted the defense and how he kind of did he open that out to make plays?
Yeah. Steve, you're breaking up a little bit, but what I'll say is this. I didn't like how Joey Bosa played the option, and I thought he got sucked in. I gave him an arrow down for that on my column because he allowed Lamar Jackson to get around him a couple times when I think he's got to slow play that a little bit more in those situations. We know Lamar is so dynamic, and they should know on third down that he could just take that ball, pull it out of the belly, and go, and he did that a couple of times. And I thought otherwise, that was my only criticism. I thought he played a pretty decent game other than that because he seemed like he was crashing down on the run pretty well. Those runs from Derrick Henry weren't necessarily on him, but everybody's got to take accountability for it. I just thought he's got to do better, and I guarantee you the New York Jets are watching that film and saying, let's do that against Joey Bosa. If he's going to crash down and come down the line on when the ball's getting put in the belly, we're going to pull it out and go around him. He's got to do better than that. That being said, didn't feel like he was necessarily a guy that was getting a lot of pressure all night, but I think the Ravens went quick game a lot. And as far as your criticism of Joe Brady on play calling, I'm with you on the conservatism. The first drive was really good. After that, I thought a little too conservative for me. They get 9 yards on first down for James Cook on the second drive, and then no gain and -2. You have Josh Allen. Put the ball in his hands. I think what happened, though, Steve, was they didn't want Josh to run too early and too often. It's a long season, but you also don't count on the defense giving up score after score and long drive after long drive or long play after long play, and you can keep the game a little closer to the vest. But after a while, the game gets away from you because that does happen. Now you have to ask Josh Allen to do a little bit more, right? I mean, score effect matters and how you play it. I'm with you, though. I thought it was a little too conservative at that moment. One more of this segment, Dave in Tonawanda. Hi, Dave.
Oh, what a great day to be a Bills fan. 63-year-old, long-time suffering, cheering, all the whole gamut. This reminded me of the Bills of the 90s when they would be getting mopped up by maybe the Rams or maybe the Raiders, and all of a sudden, boom, two or three plays, and all of a sudden we were winning. That's what it reminded me of. And as an aging Bills fan, I'd like to make a humble suggestion. We already have the greatest comeback. I'd like to remember this one as the clawback, baby.
All right, the clawback. Don't know why, but they clawed back, and I'm glad that you're having a great morning with it. I hope everybody else is as well. We'll take a timeout here on the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show. Sal Capaccio with you, taking your phone calls. Keep running them through. We're just spending the 2 hours, an hour and a half now of taking your phone calls. So if you want to come up, you'll get on the air. 803-0550.